Hey there, and good Wednesday morning to you. Thanks for joining us here on Atlanta News First Plus. I'm First Alert Meteorologist Isaac Williams. We are going to update you on the weekend and what we're looking at for mainly the cold, but we're also looking at the possibility of a little snow in Georgia, especially out in East Georgia. We'll talk about it this morning. But this weekend, I'm calling it a high impact cold snap because this is not something that's going to last like yesterday morning, where we had bitter cold air for basically the morning and then it got bearable in the afternoon. Saturday and Sunday are going to be days where you just want to stay indoors because the cold is going to be really intense. The wind, very intense. I'm seeing signs of 40 to 50 mile per hour wind gusts during the day on Saturday. That's a reason that wind chill is going to be so dangerously low Saturday and especially Sunday. So bitter cold air, dangerous wind chills, and just gusty winds, well over 40 miles per hour expected for Saturday during the day. We still have this cold weather outlook through the end of the week and into early February. It looks like this is going to invade a lot of people in the eastern half of the country. Again, notice over South Florida, I've seen the Weather Service down in Jacksonville even talk about possible snow flurries in the city of Jacksonville. So this is going to be some pretty intense cold with that cold blast coming in across the southeastern portion of the country. And we're looking at this be a very intense cold blast. In fact, basically from today through next Wednesday, we're going to have sub-freezing temperatures, especially during the morning. By next Thursday, notice February the 5th, we have a lower chance of seeing some freezing temperatures in the morning. But this is going to be, again, a very prolonged cold stretch. This is the European model's forecast for wind chill. So the change from yesterday is that it looks like the super cold wind chills may be 12 or so hours delayed from what they were looking at yesterday. Not to say Saturday is going to be pleasant by any stretch. In fact, as those 40 to 50 mile per hour gusts I mentioned begin to increase, we're going to see the wind chills actually decrease Saturday. We have a noon wind chill of 6 degrees above zero in Atlanta, and then by 5 p.m. we maintain those single-digit wind chills. Notice Blairsville at -8 at 5 p.m., and then through the night, this is when the really intense stuff gets here. So this is 7 a.m. Sunday morning, and the evening team yesterday continued that first alert weather day into Sunday because it was clear that dangerous cold was going to be lingering. So we have a wind chill of -7 in Dawsonville. Sunday morning, we have a wind chill of -2 in the city, -2. And we could even see 0-degree wind chills as far south as LaGrange and Thomaston. So very intense stuff there. -2, the wind chill in Athens, and the coldest on the board is Blairsville up in the mountains. The wind chill there, 7 a.m. Sunday, is -15 degrees. So that is some really, really brutal cold on the way. And then I mentioned the snow word, so I want to give you the latest on both models here is what we are looking at. This is the European model, so it is a few showers around here Friday evening, some flurries up in the Georgia mountains, and then as we go into Saturday, it continues the idea of a little light snow in the higher elevations and then kind of brings a little stripe of snow through East Georgia as that area of low pressure you see off the East Coast, again, has trended just a smidge to the west, which might sling a little cold air and moisture through the Carolinas and into East Georgia. This is, again, the European model. It's been fairly consistent in its output of showing East Georgia. Now, it's still too early to talk about any sort of potential accumulation. We don't like to do that until we are about 48 hours, ideally even 36 hours away from the potential event. But I will say that whatever does fall is going to be powdery snow. It looks like the cold, dry air or colder, drier air is going to cause the snow ratios to be a little bit higher. And what I mean by that is usually models calculate snow accumulation based on a 10-to-1 ratio. So every 1 inch of liquid water equates to 10 inches of snow. But this time around, it could be about 15-to-1. So that just goes to show you that less liquid water would produce potentially more snow. All to say, it's still too early to talk totals, but there is some degree of chance that some accumulation could occur in East Georgia. When I talk East Georgia, I have a map coming up, I think, here, but we're talking to you folks in Athens, eastward, closer to the South Carolina line. I think if you know anybody in the Carolinas, a pretty good chance to see accumulating snow there Saturday as well. This is the American model, so it also shows snow, and it does again, favor East Georgia. That super light white color that you see over Atlanta, that would be a flurry or two. And I'm not saying we won't see flurries in Atlanta, but the best chance of snow is east of us at this point across the Carolinas and into far East Georgia. So we're talking Clayton, Helen maybe, Athens, Toccoa, Elberton. Those would be counties and areas closer to the line. And maybe toward Augusta even could see some snow Saturday or Saturday evening as this entire system pulls off to the east. You can see by Sunday morning, this area of low pressure is just off the Outer Banks and it's going to pull up to the east coast. And the major cities up there may be spared. Boston's on the cusp, I think, of seeing some very heavy snow, but New York City is going to pass south of you, I think, unless more trends closer to the coast occur. So we're still in the range of kind of watching trends and seeing how things shake out. But right now, it is clear this is what we're looking at here. So flurries in metro Atlanta, not out of the question Saturday. But any sort of snow, a better snow chance would be over toward Eatonton, Greensboro, Athens, Commerce, Gainesville, Dahlonega, Helen, or Clayton, and points east of there into the Carolinas. So this is just a first guess. Notice this does not have anything about totals on there. Again, I don't like to talk about totals this far in advance. I'm just showing you where accumulation is possible and where it is unlikely. And right now we're saying accumulation is unlikely in the metro. It is at least possible in East Georgia, and we'll continue to follow this, of course, over the next couple days, and that we will start to get inside of that window of where we can be a little bit more specific in potential accumulation. There's also a chance that trends farther away from the coast, and then East Georgia barely sees anything. So we're still far from a locked-in scenario for sure. We will be fairly seasonable throughout the course of the rest of the week. Temperatures today in the mid-40s. The clouds from earlier, I'm just looking out the window here at the station, and they are clearing up nicely, so we should have a lot of sunshine this afternoon. Clouds return, though, at times tomorrow and Friday, but it's not going to be super dreary, but it's not going to be super warm. 45 is the high tomorrow and Friday. Now, the weekend, we've already went over the wind chills, but air temps themselves, 28 the high on Saturday, 13 degrees the low on Saturday night. And then we might get above freezing Sunday, but if we do, it is not going to be for long. This cold is going to last all weekend, and then we're down to 19 degrees Sunday night. So this is a span of about 3 total days. If you count the second half of Friday, the first half of Monday, and then all weekend, that's about 3 full days of pretty brutal stuff around here. We do recover back into the 40s, though, next week with sunshine. 41 on Monday and 42 on Tuesday of next week. So the main focus is the cold, but we are watching East Georgia for some snow chances, and if they go up, go down, if they spread more, or if they decrease, we'll, of course, be the first to let you know here on Atlanta News First. Plus, the website, atlantanewsfirst.com. We're on television all afternoon, and, of course, the First Alert weather app, a great resource to have for the very latest on the forecast. And we will continue to monitor everything, of course, very closely. We're going to be watching new models come in, and that is something that, again, we'll keep you posted here on ANF Plus and on television at Atlanta News First.
Stay up to date on your latest weather from the largest team of meteorologists in the Southeast. Download the First Alert weather app for hour-by-hour forecasts and join us every weekday at 11:30 a.m. on ANF Plus. You can also text weather to the number on your screen, and we'll send a link directly to your cell phone.